Welcome to AP Daily Video 6.9. Today's subject matter is food production, CAFOs, and aquaculture. My name is Dr. Benzoni from the University of Institute, and I'm going to be talking to you about aquacultures, their benefits and drawbacks, and possible alternatives.
Hello, my name is John from the Maryland State Department of Education. Today I will be talking about CAFOs, C-A-F-Os, Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation.
This is Dr. Tom from the University of York, and I'm going to be talking about food production and their environmental impacts.
Aquaculture, in a nutshell, is the farming of aquatic organisms such as fish, shellfish, and even plants like seaweed. It involves building an anthropogenic aquatic ecosystem and providing the organisms in it with food, as well as antibiotics. So it's kind of like a very large aquarium on steroids.
What is a CAFO? CAFOs stand for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations. Simply, they are animal feeding operations, AFOs, with a large amount of animals in a small space. While this allows CAFOs to be cheap, they are not sustainable and produce a lot of waste. They also can contaminate the surrounding areas and are viewed as being unethical in the way they treat the livestock. The biggest issues tend to result from the waste produced from all of the animals. And when untreated, it can lead to contamination in the surrounding environment. Antibiotics and medicine given to the animal can also get into the surrounding environment.
The production of food, especially meat, produces a lot of emissions that are released into the atmosphere. One of the largest producers of emissions is cows, who contribute to global warming through the production of methane gas that is released into the atmosphere. Cows emit methane and pass gas as they digest their food. Also, factories and transportation have to be taken into account for packaging and transportation of meat and foods in general. Many meat factories also have bad working conditions and produce a great deal of emissions that are released into the atmosphere, as well as contaminate the waterways near the factories.
Aquaculture also has certain benefits and drawbacks. Some benefits are that it prevents overfishing, which is a big problem when, large corporations or nations fish a lot in a certain area, which creates a tragedy of the commons situation, which is very bad for smaller developing nations and private fishers. Some drawbacks are that it does produce a certain amount of wastewater with the water that is pumped out the other end of the enclosure, which contains both animal feces, uneaten food, and antibiotics.
What are some alternatives? Because I've heard of free-range grazing.
What a wonderful question. Thank you, Jake. Let's have our experts respond.
Free-range grazing entails allowing animals to move around in large open spaces. This allows them to eat the grass rather than just being fed whatever the CAFO would give them, and allows them to have more varied diets, making them generally safer and happier. While costlier, it's also more sustainable as they integrate better with the surrounding.
Well, open fishing does sometimes produce problems. With overfishing, there are some measures that can be implemented